So, men. I know, but, men kissing each other? So, an idea that I have had since pretty much learning to crochet last year is that I really wanted to make an Ace Attorney themed cardigan. However, when most people make like a video game or anime inspired like crochet thing, they usually just like take a pixel art and turn it into a color work. I decided I wanted my reference to be absolutely indecipherable unless I tell you. But effectively my idea is that I would make a hexagon cardigan, and one side would be Phoenix colors, the other side would be Edgeworth colors, and then I could do like a cute design going down the back. Yeah. And then that leads me actually to a confession right here at the top of the video, and that's that I've actually already started it. I know, I'm sorry. But I have a few reasons as to why I did this. One reason, and probably the most important reason, was that I really wanted to test to see how it was going to look, like how it was going to crochet up before I started actually filming, because if I had started filming and I hated the way it looked, I would have had a meltdown. Because while this is labeled as worsted on the website, it is much thinner than I thought it was going to be. So I got scared. That being said, I do very much like how it is looking so far. I like how it is crocheting up. I wanted it to be kind of wearable in the summertime, so that's also why I got cotton instead of like acrylic or something. And also, the 24/7 cotton yarn is the only one I was able to find with good colors for both characters. The other reason is that I desperately needed to be doing something with my hands while watching TV to keep myself from doom scrolling and thus falling into a deep pit of depression. Anyways, a little bit of a color show off here. I've got the colors rose and navy that I think are just really good Phoenix colors, but not as good as my Edgeworth colors. This is silver and magenta, and just like, look at them. Literally, listen. Perfect colors. So the plan is to continue on the Phoenix side. If I run out, I'll order more and then start on the Edgeworth side while I wait for that to come in. And then if it doesn't run out, if I have enough, which I don't think I do, then I guess I won't have to do that at all. However, I need to turn all of these into cakes to make them a little bit easier for me to use, so I'm gonna do that. Let's throw a cake party, as I like to call it. Later, and this is where we are currently at for the Phoenix side, and it's looking good. I am going to what I'm going to do is grab a cardigan that I know I like the fit of and kind of lay this up against it, and if it looks like it's going to be an okay size, I will go ahead and attach, basically sew up the top seam here, and then get to finishing the sleeves, because I want the sleeves to be long and then have a cuff. So that means I also need to look up how to decrease a granny stitch. So, just got out of seeing Sheep Detectives and I cried my eyes out. So that's like 2 for 2 movies making me cry in the theater. So I'm gonna see Mortal Kombat either later this week or next weekend, and hopefully not sob in a public place again. That being said, 10 out of 10. Great movie. Fantastic. Talking farm animal media is back. It's so back, baby. So from here, we're going to do the same pattern going forward. We're going to do 3 rounds of each. We're going to do 3 rounds of each color back and forth until we get the length that we want, and then decrease, which I still need to look up, and then the cuff. But it's not too much more of the arm than I need to get. I tend to, most of my sweaters are a little bit longer than my arms. I'm going to try not to make this one too much longer than my arms so that I can still like do stuff while wearing this, but for the most part, it's looking real good so far, and we still have a decent amount of the Phoenix colors, so we're gonna see where these are at once I'm done with this part, and that'll be that will decide whether or not I buy 1 extra skein of each, because I don't think I'm gonna need 2 extra skeins. Anyway, y'all mind if I crack a cold one? Thanks. Dun, da, da. The sleeve is fully tapered. I just need to add the cuff. I'm just gonna go be about that wide. And then once I do that, I guess I can start the Edgeworth side. Bit of a close-up. I've left the markers in here just so I know where on the other side to do the decreases. Cuff is next, and then the Edgeworth side, and I'm still not sure if I want to order more yarn or not. Which is not a great place to be when I'm about to start the second half. I just don't know if I'm going to have enough of the gold, specifically, because, hold on. So, this is what I have left of these 2. And I think that this is probably enough to execute the idea I have for the center back. Which is going to be granny squares, right? Maybe I should try to do those first and see if that is enough, and then decide whether I want to reorder. I shouldn't be. That looked lewd. I do kind of wish I had done the blue, like, or I like made sure that the blue was the last color I did when going in the round. But it's too late for that. So, but knowing that this is how it'll look, I will make sure I do the magenta so that it's both, so that on both sides it's the more like pinkish reddish color that's on the last round. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I will be honest, the way I learned how to crochet was around and find out. So that's what we're doing here. Let's get to it.
I can't believe this is the first voiceover I'm doing in this video, but like I said, crochet isn't really my wheelhouse, and a lot of the terminology confuses me. Plus, like, my longer videos like this are less tutorials and more watch me slowly go crazy while I make something, and maybe you'll be inspired to join me, Orioles. But basically what I'm doing here is, I believe, called a rib stitch, where you single crochet into just the back loop, and it makes it look like it's got ridges. So I put on the Ace Attorney anime to keep me going, because single crocheting takes a billion years, and I just hunkered in and got through it. Since I actually got footage of the Edgeworth side, I can kind of explain how hexagon cardigans work. The foundation works a lot like a granny square, but instead of 4 clusters of double crochets, you make 6 of them, and then after you work for a few rounds, you can fold it into an upside down L shape, and that's where it becomes a cardigan. Detroit become cardigan. Why did I write that down? A lot of other people make their cardigans using like color changing yarn, and that kind of creates the that natural like differentiation in the color. For mine, I just did 3 rounds of each color to create that kind of stripe effect that you see. There's not really much else to talk about past that, so let's just go into montage mode.
So I meant to record this, but my camera ran out of battery and I was kind of in the crafting fugue state. And also it's kind of lopsided, but that's not gonna matter. This is Phoenix's attorney's badge. So that one's gonna go under this. And I am making these so sporadically, I don't know if I'm gonna stitch them together in the video. Like as in like the making of them. Or if it's just gonna be like, you made those at the most random points in time, and it's true. But we got 2 out of what's probably gonna end up being 5 to be long enough. But we'll see what happens. Oh, and for anyone wondering like what pattern I used to make this, I winged it in you know, very much in the spirit of Phoenix Wright himself. I just kind of guessed. I will say that to start, it was a round of, right, chain 5, right, slip stitch together, 12 single crochets. The second round is 2 double crochets into each of the single crochets, and then trying to make a square out of that, which I had mixed results. These 3 corners are great. This one, not so much, but it's fine. I don't care.
So I'm going to do my best to explain the prosecutor badge because it was a whole thing. But I started out the same way. I did chain 5, 12 single crochets. The following row had me briefly descending into madness and crashing out multiple times, but I alternated 3 triple crochets in the silver and 3 doubles in the gold, and putting like 2 stitches inside of each of the single crochets, ending in 24 stitches. And then what I decided to do after that was just make that part a separate piece, and then make a regular granny square that I would just then sew it onto. Okay, I know this looks actually bonkers, but I'm gonna weave the ends in. Stop focusing on my face. Focus on this. I'm gonna weave the ends in, and I promise it'll look better. But I know it looks kind of like a sea anemone right now. So, with him. So all the granny squares are done, and I think I might have crocheted a little too close to the sun on this one. No pun intended. It's just freaking huge. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, honestly. But I think what I need to do is I need to attach these like how I have these attached. And then what I'll do is add double crochets along each side, and that should hypothetically thicken them up enough to kind of line up with this. I also need to make sure that these are all going to fit on the back of the cardigan. So I will lock in with an audiobook and get that done, and then it'll be time for the waistband after that. Once all the pieces were finally put together, I made the waistband and the button placket using the rib stitch. I picked out some cute wooden buttons from my hoard and sewed them on, and then it was finally done, and time for the reveal.
fear always leans back further than I'm ever physically prepared for it to. What I liked, what I did not like, what I would improve upon if I were to do it again, which I won't. If I could go back and restart it, I think I would do like 2 rounds of the silver and pink, the pink and silver, and 4 of the blue and magenta. Because I don't know, the even spaced, it's just not, I don't know. It's not reading the way I would have wanted it to. But I also don't care. I mean, it still looks so good. I still love the way it turned out. The back looks so cool, even though you can't really see it because it scrunches up a lot, but that's fine. If I down the line find some buttons about this size that are heart-shaped, I might swap these buttons out for those. But I didn't have any on hand, and I didn't want to go searching for buttons for this, so. All in all, super chuffed with my Yowie sweater. Happy Pride. Happy Pride to Ace Attorney fans. You know what you are. Learned a lot more different crochet stitches working on this. Largely because, like, I mean, I had to make the cuffs. I hadn't done cuffs in crochet yet, as well as the whatever you want to call it, the edging. But yeah, I loved it. I learned a lot. I'm gonna wear this all summer. I encourage everybody to engage in some kind of project that is just a very niche reference that only you understand, but when you put it on, you're like, yeah. Because in this day and age where every aspect of society is attempting to police us and our appearances and everything else, why not just be extremely cringe? Not to mention that making something with your hands is one of the most rewarding things a human being can engage in. And this was I started this on May 1st. I finished it yesterday on June 9th. So this was over a month's worth of labor of love. And it is love, because I love those 2 stupid boys so much, and Capcom won't let them kiss each other. Don't know what the next video is going to be, because I have to fully lock in over the next 2 months and finish my cosplay for Colossal Con, because that has also been a very long-term labor of love, and I need to finish it. So I might make shorts in the meantime, or something. I don't know. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There's a bug in my room. Please take care of yourselves, drink water, and go vote! I love you. Goodbye. Just live in comfort in the fact that knowing that somewhere in this world, in this very year, Apollo Justice is getting tormented by theater kids.